I'm not sure for what reason exactly, but I'm so struggling to keep my eyes open today. Um, and I've already been drinking not coffee for at least a week now, so it can't be that. And just like, oh, it's just so hard. Well, what I wanted to just briefly speak to today is how, I mean, assuming what I speak here, I have not listened to myself. I listened to a few videos, like watch them again. So if there are 40, let's say there are 50 with introduction and whatever, I watched maybe 4 or 5, and I love what I say. I just love it, and it actually doesn't sound that radical to me at all. And I think partly because, well, because I don't know, I'm used to me, and I'm used to that way of being and thinking. Also, I think the way I speak about it, it's not. I'm not militant. I don't know. I don't think I am. But occasionally, I'm certainly aware of or conscious that um, it could seem that what I'm talking about is almost like antisocial. And I think the difference there is asocial and there is antisocial. And I think I belong to asocial, certainly not anti. I mean, I'm not. Again, I'm thinking on my feet now, trying to stay awake. But so I understand antisocial, that you're against society by that. I mean, and everything the society stands for. And asocial is that you just are outside of society. So that's why I think I'm asocial. But the piece that I don't know if I say enough or it comes across enough is that I'm not against society. Society is necessary, rather the structures are necessary. Law is necessary to just uphold us all to some standards of human decency, and so I'm all for that, very much so. But what I would love personally to see the world and individuals in it become more of is just like turn more in and inward, and pay attention to themselves. So let's say, I don't know, 90% of everyone's time, particularly time in their heads, in their thoughts, to be about themselves. At least 90%. And that's my wish for the world. And that's where I come from with my She Maverick and everything I stand for, and all my asocial theories and philosophies of life and life's mottos and behaviors and attitudes and beliefs and values, very important. All of that is not against society, it's against misuses as I see them. And the excesses of suffering and pain that I think can be solved by turning in, not turning yourself in, legally speaking, unless you have the reason to, but just looking in. Instead of worrying about the world outside you, worry about you. Unless you have dependents like children who physically and legally depend on you, and I suppose at the extreme other end, like old people, like parents presumably, or some grandparents or whatever, who are also therefore physically and legally dependent on you. Anything else in between, I mean, anything else in between really doesn't concern you to the extent that you most likely are concerning yourself with. And that's my call for action, if you like, or invitation, or call for change, is that we just stop worrying about the world and start worrying about us, as me about me, you about you. That's And that's how we make a healthy society, because when you worry about yourself, you take care of yourself and therefore become a healthy individual. Not physically, well, that too, but I mean, I'm more talking emotionally, psychologically, and healthy psychologically and physically, sorry, and emotionally individual is an individuated individual. So a great society, a society that I would love to be alive, to see it come to form, is the one that's made out of healthy individuals. And by healthy, like I say, in addition to physical health, I mean the other kinds of health. So I'm not antisocial, but I'm currently outside of society because I just don't find it healthy. That's the thing. I find it very unhealthy, and so I'm on the fringes in a way, metaphorically speaking. I don't think I'm literally on the fringes. I wouldn't consider myself that, but in a way, I just am not. I'm very, very like hyper selective who and how I'm engaging with from that society, and because I'm just not. It's like going shopping, and just really picking and choosing what you want to eat and cook at home. You know, it's like you might like junk food, but you might actually not, and you might really appreciate healthy and organic or fresh and veggies as opposed to sugars, and that kind of metaphor. So in that sense, I am choosy and I'm asocial. I'm like social vegan. Okay, that's it. So that's all I have to say. And I will be back tomorrow.